Good afternoon, Elena. Very nice to see you here in the gallery in London. I don't know if you remember, but it was back in 1995 when I bought my first Boetti, which you encouraged me to buy, which was a black biro entitled La notte da luce alla notte. Sadly, I've sold that, but here we are. And you and I have been talking about doing a Boetti show for a long time.
We have been discussing Boetti for years and years and talking about the show for quite a while. And I'm so happy to be here and in the middle of so many airplanes. Alighiero Boetti, Embellishing the Sky.
So when I first mentioned the concept of a planes show, what did you think?
I was extremely excited. I knew that a Boetti plane show only dedicated to airplanes had never been done before. So obviously it's a challenge. And the idea was to try to get as many as possible in order to recreate the many planes that Boetti himself, with Guido Fuga as designer, as a help, has conceived for his work and have them float in the gallery.
And in the pantheon of works that Boetti's done over the years, from the embroideries, the maps, the certain better known subjects, how do you place the airplanes?
I think that the planes, as many other Boetti's work, as the mappas and other ones, are obviously inspired by the political climate. We are in the 70s, the Cold War. Boetti has been traveling extensively, both in Afghanistan, in America, and in Africa. Is very aware of what's going on, and he, in his own mind, is always trying to translate dreams into reality. So from the game with his daughter, looking at the sky and looking at the planes, he has created a bodies of work, a series of work that actually makes us think of what was going on. Lots of airplanes, Concorde, Air Force, propeller, military planes, because they were living next to a military base. At the same time, all these airplanes, the silhouette, are in the triptychs, but they are never touching each other. It looks like disorder, but it's a very conscientious order. As anything Boetti does, you always have this juxtaposition of order and disorder.
Totally agree with that. That's why I think they almost encapsulate everything he's ever done. I just wanted to ask you, in these works, you have both the watercolors and the different colored biro works. Why do you think he used biro, which today is less interesting in a funny sort of way? Boetti had started using biro in 1972 with a series of work called Omonimo, I Sei Sensi, and many other ones where the letters are on top or the letters on the left, and he created many panels. And he really enjoyed the use of biro. Watercolor, actually the first one of the Aerei is a watercolor, and it is today a mocha. It's from 1977. It happened by chance, as anything in Boetti. He was in Venice with his friend Gianni Michelagnoli, and he wanted to meet Guido Fuga, who he had known about as an architect, and especially as Guido Fuga was doing the drawings for Corto Maltese. So they went around, they started talking, they both loved Afghanistan, they both loved planes, so they started with this crazy idea to create a carta da pararti. Here we go. But they never managed to do it. So from the first, on tracing paper, they enlarged it, and they showed the first large triptych in Rome in 1977, which now sits in mocha, and it's a watercolor. And then Boetti wanted to try the biro because he was giving him the possibility of different colors, different texture. And from the large triptych, then the seriality became from small, medium, different colors, and the work evolved in a complete series, which for the first time we are here floating in the sky with them, one blue, one green, one red, all of different
you know, size and colors.
And there are two different types of airplane works which you have put together beautifully in this show. Can you explain the difference between the Aerei and the other series?
Yes, the Cieli Alti, it's a series that we are presenting in the room next door, and it's floating high above. Why is it floating high above? Because Cieli Alti means sky up in the atmosphere. So it's a much more rarefied and much more meditative and contemplative situation, and is as if you're sitting on one of the many airplanes behind us and you're looking out of the window, and what do you see? You see just a few passing by because you're high up in the atmosphere. And they were evolved in the 80s until his death with much more subdued color, light blues.
They're wonderful though, aren't they?
They're wonderful. They're really wonderful, and they are more contemplative. And in a way, it's a game. With Boetti is always a game, because he's playing with the concepts, but then he's transforming it into something very playful.
Can you think of a Boetti you would prefer to have than an airplanes in your home?
I think that the airplanes fit very well my life, because I'm moving around all the time. And my grandmother used to say, the roof of the house will never land on your head.
How beautiful is that? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ben.